So first I'll just give you the overview through the PPT, and then the rest I'll just show you. It just for some time only. I just want to give you the overview, what exactly this all, and then we'll continue with the further one on the system.
Okay.
And the important thing is that whatever I'm telling you, it will not worth at all until you will not practice. So without practice, you will not able to
Yes.
learn. So that's the main thing. So this we call it as a SAP Cloud Application Studio. This is basically our backend system, which we call it as a SDK. And hope you might aware, as you are a functional consultant, so you might be aware of the version 2. The version 2 doesn't include PDI, only the version 1, which is already going on. In that only PDI included. But now the Sales Cloud version 2, which is coming now, in that there is no PDI involvement. Everything functional consultant will do. They can do all the enhancement and everything. Hope you are aware of
Okay.
that. Okay, so the SAP Cloud Application Studio version 2 is coming, in that there is no PDI involvement. So this is we call it as a SDK, we call it as a PDI. This is basically it is a backend tool where you have to, which is working on, which is based on Visual Studio. And now they are this time this year, last year also they come up with that new version, pilot version, but there was many issues in that version. But now whatever the coming this uh, we last year we have an option, either you can choose the pilot version or you can choose the whatever we are using existing one, that also possible. But now they have deprecated everything. Now we only have to use the pilot version, which is we are which is based on Visual Studio 2015. So the backend is Visual Studio. We are still facing some little issues into that. What currently I'm facing issue with my PDI, like we have written a lot of logic into the before save event of ticket, our complete project based on the ticket screen. So whatever we are writing, maximum we have written the logic on before save. It's possible actually, everybody has to write on that. So whenever I'm just doing a simple small change, if I'm trying to do, it got hang, and I need to close my SDK, and then I need to remove my session, and then I need to start it again. That is the first problem which I am facing. Second problem is that earlier we were setting the breakpoints, and if you log off, the breakpoints would still be there. But now in the new version, whatever the breakpoints you have used, if you log off, that all will gone. You have to add all the breakpoints again. And in the new
Okay.
version, they come up with many new libraries. They are the SAP reuse libraries are there. They come up with many new reuse libraries, and there are many other changes are there. So
So my
this, yeah.
system actually I have both the pilot version and normal version.
Now,
2305 version.
so we are
SAP
using only pilot.
C4C.
Yes, but better to use the new
Okay.
version. Just try to understand the new version, it would be better. Just because in anyhow in future you have to use that only. I don't know how you are able to lock in that, but now we are using only the pilot version. So this only thing is that this is a software development kit which enables, which allow the SAP developers, so whoever the SAP partners, like we are the SAP partners who are working, who are developing all that things for the client. So we are SAP partners, and the customers also, if whoever like a product company, they itself they have employees who are working on that. So everybody is using the same SDK. SAP is using a BAP in the backend. So they have in the backend system where they are just C4C is the backend, a BAP logic is there, and all the screens are there. Their backend Java logic is there. So backend I'm saying. So this is the developer toolkit which we are using to develop our all our logic or screens or enhancement and everything which we are using. So this C4C, basically earlier this were all was products. SAP C4C has all these products: sales, services, marketing, social engagement. And as you aware of might be, marketing is now come out of it. Sales, service
Yes.
and engagement is there, but marketing come out of it. This I have not removed it, so because I just want to tell you marketing is there. And this is just a simple overview, like how we can what you can do into the SDK. You can create the custom BO, you can create the, you can extend the standard BOs, means you can do the enhancement, you can create the new screens, you can enhance the standard screens, you can create the services, the REST web services you can consume, you can talk to another system, or all that things you can do. So these all is means extending the cloud application studio, means you can create or you can extend as per your client requirement. And as you know, we can use all this scoping are there. As per our system, we can have to do the scoping, customization, and then we can use all the multiple devices we can use. Whatever, if I'm developing a screen in the backend, I can set the tools, like it should be like for the resolution perspective, it should be properly visual on a phone, on a tab, or etc etc etc. So this all,
Uh,
you know all that, so I'm not going deep into this. So these all are the key features which I told you. You can create the business object, you can create the screens, we call it as a UI interfaces, web services, SOAP, it's standard one which are still going on, but we are not relying on that. We are just nowadays we are using the REST services. SOAP which are already existing, that we are using, like a sales order, pricing. So these are the standard one which we are already using. So we keep on using that until SAP is providing. Once SAP create the any REST service, we will keep on using that. But nowadays, if we have to update sales order, if we have to update the ticket from the external system, we are giving our REST service to them. For the pricing and all that, we still have web services which we are giving to the external system, and that they are using. We can create the reports and dashboards, forms. These all are approval and notification steps, configuration, MDR, integration of reuse. This is reuse library we will do. So basically whatever you see the key features, this is our content basically. So you can see these all are not key features, this is our content of the of our course. And this is a system overview. So first, this is a browser which is a UI screen, and how we are doing. So first step is that as a developer you will write all your development, all your logic here, you will develop here, and then after developing, this is the backend system, like how it will go. This is the backend, like in this SDK, the backend system, what is the back behind this, which I told you, ABAP logic or SAP content, means you are using your standard BOs, you are using SAP standard BOs also, or you are using custom views also. So this means a repository, everything is getting stored into your repository. Yesterday I was showing you, go to the serve accounts and all that, so that is nothing but repository, our database. Okay. And once you develop, you deploy into runtime, and then you test. So this is our flow. First we develop, we deploy to the runtime, and then we can test. This you got it? Just stop me wherever. This is just an overview of most of the things you're already aware, but I will show
Yes.
you into the directly into the system. So that's why I'm just simply just showing you. This is the front end design runtime, how we are doing. You just see this, this all we will do. This is in the front end screen. Whenever we create a screen in the back end, you can see these tabs. So these tabs are work centers. How we create these work centers, I will show you. And in the back end, this work center is nothing but you are creating an account. An account is getting stored, is an entry which is getting stored into your BO, means your database, accounts database. So that is nothing but your business object. So we'll create. So this is something which you have to understand. When we log into the system, you will see these all are the solutions. In for the client solution, there will always be a one or two solutions. Test environment, so multiple users are creating. But as you are already belongs to a client system, so you will see there is a one or two solutions would be there. So for the client, always there will be one solution, or there may be two also if they are just for some purpose they are creating two for some reasons. Because some of the clients, if we see some clients, they are working, let's suppose if you have a client, you are a client, for your client you are working, okay, so you are using one solution, might be SAP also working for them. So they, for that they have created a separate solution. So there is no relation between the independent thing, you are doing your independently your work, they are doing independently their work. So no interrelation, nothing, no one will be disturbed. Yeah. But the problem is that ticket is the same, because for them UI is same. If they are doing any logic, that is that will create a issue, that will impact on your also. So always you have to take care. Working wise, no issue, but if you have written any corrupted logic or anything bad is happening in your logic, that will impact their ticket also. So that is the thing, either you are both doing independently work, but in anyhow you are representing one solution only, one screen only, one tenant only, so it will impact your tenant. Okay. And this is our, we call it as a solution. How we create a solution, I will tell you. And this is the place where we are writing the logic, we are writing the BO solution, we are defining description, everything we are doing. And this is a solution explorer where you will see what you have done. You have created a BO or script or everything, so this all you know. And the properties also you can see, you can see the errors, all that. And this, I think this also might be you aware of how to create a tenant URL and the tenant name.
Yes,
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 okay.
yes.
So this might be types of solution, you know. This is a customer specific solution. Customer specific means your client. You are working for one client, so that is a customer specific. It is specifically to that client only. Solution template is what which we are using internally for our company. Like if I belong to one company and I'm working for one client. So my client to whom with whom I'm working, that is my customer specific solution. If within my company I am working on some solution, so I'll create a solution template. Solution template is one which we can't move from one tenant to another, means from dev to production it will not move, because it will never be assembled.
Okay.
Customer specific will be specific to that customer and it will be assembled, and you can move to one to another tenant, dev to production, dev to test. Multi customer specific solution means one solution is there, there is a one tenant or one solution which can be used by multiple clients. Like this is basically in this, whenever this kind of a scenario, we always have to take help from SAP, but mostly we are not using this. But in case like there is something which you want to show for as a demo purpose, you are trying something and that you want that, in that case you have to take a help from SAP. SAP will create only this solution for you. So whenever this MCS coming into picture, SAP will be there. And this is basically country specific localization. Whenever it is coming, this is coming into business by design, not into C4C much. It is localization is mostly related to by design. So this is a complete life cycle, build, go to test tenant, testing, then deploy to the production, and then open for the use case. So this is a life cycle management. How is this? So now I have just log into this tenant. As of now, these are many solutions are there. So we'll create a new solution for our create solution, or I can use the existing one also. If I don't want to use, I can use someone else solution. This one synchronization will always take a time, because it's nothing but and one more thing, if you just check in your documents, you in your system SDK will definitely be there. Okay, so you go to documents in your laptop, into the documents you will see Visual Studio 2015. If you have installed the new SDK pilot version, you can see pilot. If you have installed this pilot version, then you can go to documents, Visual Studio 2015, and there you will see projects. Have you installed the new pilot version?
Yes, I installed.
So have you opened your solution in that only, in that SDK? Have you opened your
Uh,
solution? And these are the deployment units. So this deployment unit means this belongs to, if I'm using CRM, now you have to understand what is your project all based upon. If it is related to account tickets, prospective tickets, sales orders, and all transactional things, so it's better to use that CRM one. If you are using this deployment unit, your all BOs should be belongs to this one. I will show you what exactly this means. And I know my project is totally based upon ticket, so I'll use this crm one. It's not like that if you have used CRM you can't use the foundation BIOS. You can use it, but this is quite different thing, like it's a complicated thing that also we will learn. I'll tell you all
Actually,
that
till now,
also.
we are using our as the service is concerned, most of our work is related to opportunities only. So we use accounts, contacts, sometimes leads, not every time, and mostly opportunities. That's it. Even state codes, nothing will be there. Only accounts, contacts, sometimes leads, most probably opportunities only. Then
Okay,
creation of employees, creation of business users.
so you can see if you click on your solution you will see in the properties what the deployment unit they have used. So now I have created a solution. It is taking little time. Okay, this is a solution gets created and it's a blank one, so we will do everything here. And same, if I'll now I want to check the properties window. You can see my deployment unit is customer relationship management. So you same way you can also see your deployment unit, what is the deployment unit of your this one. And if I'll just show you service request, let's suppose this is a ticket. So you can see here the deployment unit is customer relationship management. So if I want to use on this one, I know my solution is based on this, so I can, it's easily for me to use the service CRM deployment unit. And as you are working on accounts, so you can see this is the repository explorer is the very important thing, where you have to understand how you have to write. So everything is based on that. If somebody is asking you to have, you have to check something, this is the backend place where you have to check. So you can see here deployment unit is foundation. So for your might be it would be the foundation only, because for customer employees and everything it is a foundation deployment unit, and for you also might be it's foundation only. So if we have to talk from one deployment unit to another, like sometimes there is a possibility I need to capture one value from accounts to ticket or from ticket to account. That's if this is the case, different deployment unit you can't paste the value. Like if I have to fetch the account from, fetch the account, and I have to paste it into opportunity or I have to paste it into ticket, system will not allow me, because like a customer. My customer is a foundation deployment unit, and my solution is customer relationship management, which is CRM. If you have to copy something, like you have to edit, if somebody is saying you have to copy one field from one deployment unit to another deployment unit, how you will do it? You can't do it. It's a read only for you. System will not allow you. System will give you message,
Okay.
no, it's not possible. It is different deployment unit. But we have many methods by which we can do this. We have internal
Okay.
communication. We have some another ways also, which by practice you will learn how you can do that. It's possible, but it's not straightforward. And if I can see opportunity, or opportunity, you click on it and you will see the deployment unit is CRM. So you can just check what is your deployment unit. So that nothing, any difference much. So now our first step is that first we have to know how to create a business object. We will start with the custom business object. If there is a some requirement, you have your opportunity screen or your account screen. In your account screen, we have an overview. Okay, in your account screen, you click on account, then overview tab is getting open. In that overview tab, if you have to add something into this, I need a different screen into this. Customer is saying, client is saying, I want to create a custom screen. I give you this as a assignment which you have to do. In the overview screen,
Okay.
you have to create a small screen in between that, where you have to fetch all the sales order which belongs to that customer. If you open that customer, all the sales order related to that customer should reflect. If sales order concept is there in your client, that I'm saying, in your project, this is example, just I'm saying, whenever you open a screen, because we don't have this, we have an option. You go to the account, and in you just open the arrow, and in the sales order is there, where you will see the all the sales orders. There is an option. But I want, when I open my overview screen, I want to see all the sales order which are open on today's date. I don't want to see all the orders. I only want to see the orders on today's date on my overview screen.
Okay.
Okay. So this kind of a screen. So this is nothing but your custom screen. We call it as a, if in the standard screen, overview is nothing but it's a standard screen. So in the standard screen, if you have to add your screen, we call it as a embedded component, which is a later topic. But just remember, if you are adding your screen, you can do it, you can create the embedded component through KUT as well. Same way you can create from backend as well, based on the limitation. If you are able to do it through KUT, if it is fulfilling your requirement, you are okay. But sometime it's not, you have to do it from the backend. So if you are adding your custom screen into the standard screen, we call it as an embedded component. And always a screen is not automatically coming, it is building on some business object. So to create a business object, so first step is that you need to create a business object. Now you, this part you understood, you have to create a screen, and
Yes.
screen will
Got
be
it.
built on top of the business object. Now second point is that you have to understand what business object you can use. The custom business object also, you can use the standard business object also, both you can use. What you can use, you can like create a you can create the embedded component on standard business object also, or on the custom business object also. Later when this is just important questions which you have to take care, but when I show you in the system, you will understand. So I
Sure.
always prefer to use embedded component, build an embedded component on your custom BO. Because what we have faced, I have faced this time, whatever as per my experience, what I'm telling, whenever we are creating an embedded component on standard business object, basically you have to first understand how complicated is your embedded component. So if you are, while creating your embedded component on standard business object, it can impact your standard screens, because it is in anyhow it is using standard import output and etc things. So it might be possible, not now, but later on it can impact your standard screens which is already working. So it's better, always try to go with the custom BO and just create a screen on it and then add it into your standard screen. So that's why we are preferring to create it on the custom BO. So first step is that you can see my screen now.
Yes. Add.
So now first step is that I'm going to create a business object. See, I have already my logic already have with me. So I'll just do the copy paste. I don't waste the time to write it, but I will explain you everything, because it's no need to waste time, because in my previous classes I have faced this. This was taking a lot of time to write it. So I have given some name, business object, and custom business object will always be the extension .bo. Okay. So this one,
Uh,
I'm doing the copy paste. So one by one, I'll explain you everything. So structure, whenever you are creating a structure, whenever you are adding the fields, just take care of things. We have a limitation. and a limitation of creating the KUT fields, or same like KUT fields, same like SDK fields also we have a limitation. 750 we can maximum we can create. So whenever it is reaching at the half of the limit, it will give you the warning like you have reached half of the your length. So that is something which you have to take care. So don't create the useless fields. The problem is with the SDK is that if you are creating a field and you have assembled the solution and moved it to the another tenant, you can't delete it. That is the problem. You can't delete it. Okay. But now, as this was the previous times, but now we have we will try this because they are saying there is an option. We will try this later on. So this one we have an option to delete one in implementation manager. Actually, here that option will come, delete patch, delete one. We can use the delete patch. Like in the implementation manager, we have assembled option, no? Assembled, this one. This one I'll explain you what is this all about. This is
So
basically a process by when we are moving our complete SDK solution to the next to the test tenant. I'm not sure you are using the transport management through UI or you are doing through SDK. So both ways are possible. I will explain you both the ways.
we actually
Now,
don't use transport in our as far as our systems, our client. I mean, nothing is transported from dev or test or QA.
okay.
We have only two tenants for
Hmm.
all dev, test, and QA. One production. One.
So that's
Once it is confirmed in QA, we
uh,
do it from scratch in production.
this is strange because if you how you can create in the production we can't create anything. We can directly do the changes only in the script, but we never create anything into the production. That's not possible.
Maybe I'm not SDK, but I really don't know. For many things, we do like this from
No, you
functional
can't
part.
create. No, for functional perspective, you can do it from the scratch, but for the technical SDK perspective, you will never get the option to create in dev in production. Okay, so now as I told you, if you have moved it to the if you have moved it to the test tenant, you will not able to delete that field. System will give you error. So for this, SAP has given an option to delete patch. Okay, so that is only enabled for administration. We have to set some from the front end that options. So once that will be enabled for you, this is one time activity actually. Whenever you decide, okay, some clients are saying, okay, now there are some many useless things are there in our system and it is just overloaded our system. So better we you can just use delete the unused things. But the problem is that client we are working for client. Multiple companies are working for same client. Like for 1 year, client is going for one customer, like, and then after 1 year they are going to some another customer, and then they are going to some another. So might be different companies are working for that client. So we are not sure what they have used, which is useless or which is useful. So nobody is taking a chance to delete any field unless the person is a very long term he's working for that same client. So yeah, but there is a possibility. Earlier we can't delete it, but yes, now we can delete it also. For that we have an option, delete patch version.
So these things only for deployed ones, right? Not assembled
Yes,
ones.
yes. Once like in your in this is your development tenant, and in this development tenant everything would be in development mode. It will always be in the development mode. I'll show you all the steps how you have to assemble and how you have to move to the another tenant. I'll this is something which I can only explain you, but I can't show you because we don't have any other system. But I will explain you all the steps. And one thing which I forget to tell you, see if I click on here and create solution, you can see here there is an option customer specific solution which I told you, and the solution template also. Solution template if you create, you can't assemble it if you create this. Almost all the things are there, but there are some limitations in the solution template which you can't create. And this is solution template why we are creating benefit of solution template. You are working in your company and you are trying some, like might be there is some processes there which your company can be used later on, your customer can be used later on, but you want to try separately in your tenant, and later on you can move it. There is no need to rebuild again in your system. You can move it directly from one to another. You can upload and download. You can download copy in your system, and you can and directly you can upload into their system into in your client solution. So that is why we are using the solution template. Solution template is kind of a reusable component. You can reuse and you can use it into different customers. That's the reason we are using the solution template. It can't be assembled. Only thing is that you can download it, you can upload into your solution. It can never be assembled. It cannot be deployed. That's the reason we are using the solution template. It's a reusable component where you can use at multiple. in your multiple clients. But there also some many limitations are there. Deployment unit should be same. Your client solution or your solution template deployment unit should be same. If it is different, you can't use it. And name wise also, like you have created in your solution the BO name, that all that things. I'm just telling you, but nobody is using all that things. But just for your reference, if you want to know why this is the thing, why not this, so I'm just telling you why, what is the purpose of it. Nobody want to take a risk directly into the client tenant. And you can see third option, MCS, you can't see because I told you, for if you want MCS, you need to take a
Actually,
SAP has to come into picture.
your system is not moving. I'm stuck. I think it got stuck. So,
No, no, I'm only at one page only, create solution.
okay.
I'm only just
Because
showing you
right
one
now,
page. And
what is visible is my solution TRNG reference only, that is visible now. Where 01, 02, 04, bonus C4C,
so you can see this option.
customer specific solution.
Hmm. This solution template or this customer
So,
specific solution.
solution
Okay.
number it is for like library functions, kind,
Solution
which will be
template. So we have created this, and I just done the copy paste. You can see there are some errors are showing. There are some errors in the red marks. There are some errors. So first of all, the steps. This is a import statement. This is a nothing but a library. This is a data type. Okay. ID. You can't create these data types customizable. This is not customizable. You have to use the standard data types only. You can see business partner internal ID, business transactional document ID. Now you are not aware of how I can use it. You don't know how I can use which data type I need to use. Go to the
yes,
repository explorer. We have the data type. You can see all the data types are here. If I'll just go here, business partner internal ID, you can see there are many. So which one you have to use? If you are not sure, you click here and you can see maximum length is 10, and you can see the namespace. This is the namespace. This is the name. This is the namespace. And you can see the namespace is common data types. And the first one, it has common GDT. There are two data types with the same name, but the namespace is difference. You got it? Now, system don't understand this business partner internal ID belongs to whom. Is it belongs to common GDT, or it belongs to is it belongs to common data type, or it belongs to common GDT? Okay. So this how we are writing. We don't care about this particular thing. We are writing ap.common.gdt. So you can see I have written ap. This will automatically come, but always you have to write import statement. If I'm using currency code, let's suppose if I'm just telling you about the currency code, you can see this common data types, and another one is basis global, and other one is ap.common.gtt. Three namespaces, correct? So
yes,
now
yes.
which one I need to use? I will understand which one is suitable for my requirement. I will read the description, and based on that, what I will do, I'll write the import statement. What I have written, I'm just thinking this would be better. I'll just read it. I'll just see, okay, these all belongs to my, this all related to my project. This would be fine. I'll use this one, or I'll use this one. So which one would be better? You can just read it, or then you can use that. I'm using import basis dot global. This name only you have to write, not xi from after xi.
Got it.
Basis dot global, and as basis any alias name. This is kind of a alias name. So you see, I'm using alias name. So this means this currency code belongs to this import, this library. So we are facing this issue whenever amount, date, these things are coming na. So that time only we are facing. So you should know how you have to use the alias. Either you write a full import statement like copy paste here, either you write it like this, or you can put any alias name and use that alias name here. So both is fine. Okay, that is one thing. So if you want to in your project, account id will always be a unique key. So whenever there is a unique key, you have to write alternative key. This is the way how you have to write it. If you have to make any field as an alternative key, you have to use as an alternative key like this. It's a primary key. And how you have to give the name, there is two ways. Either you can give the label like it's a contract, how it will display into the screen. So this is the way how you have to write it, label. Okay, this is the name which you can see into the screen, your UI. Or you can, if you are not writing, let's suppose if you forget to change it, you can directly change it into your UI also. It's not like that you have write it here and you can't change it later. You can change it later also. Or so it's up to you. Either you can add the labels here, or you can add the labels, change the labels into your UI also. I will show you there. So this is the way how you have to label. Now how you have to define a field element. Always start a field with the name element. This is a element name like account ID. Backend you have created in your repository explorer business object. Let's suppose opportunity is open. So this is my BO, business object opportunity. So same way, this is my BO, which name is Z Seminar Management. In this, I have a field ID. Okay.
Okay.
So this name is ID. So this is element. So how we have write element ID. So this is same element ID. And what is the data type? You see this data type is business transactional document ID. But in my BO, I have used the data type as ID. Always remember, if you are using in your system, if you are using anything like account ID, customer ID, employee ID, ticket ID, whatever you are using, if anything is the standard you are using, try to use the same data type. If let's suppose
Ah,
here I'm using the opportunity ID, so you will not write it here opportunity ID. You don't know what is the data type of it. You go to the opportunity BO, click on the ID and see what is the data type here. You have to use the same data type here. Okay. If you will use the some different data type, then during copy or retrieving or pasting, like create, delete, or that time also you will face some issue. System will not allow you. Okay, the data type is different because this also has some length. This maximum length is this. So these all things matter. So always try to use, if you are using something standard fields you are using, use the same data type. Name, element name, any is fine, but use the same data type. And here I'm using the account ID. So I'm using the account data type. So you go to the customer BO, click the ID and see what is the data type. You can use the same data type here. Next, if it is coming the description, any field where you have to write a description, your name, your text, your description, if anything you are using, we have a description data types. See, all during practice you will learn what all data types I need to use. We have many description fields. If I'll click here description, you will see there is a description. Usage category means unrestricted, means we can use it. If it is restricted means you can't use it. You can see it is a text, and then later on you can see what is the length of it. You can read it. Okay, now if I'll just show you medium description, so it has short text and length is 80. If I'll use description only, so if you are not able to find out, we have just type language. So with that language, long name, long text, language independent text, so we all have all that data types. Just don't search, click, write it anything. You can scroll down, and with the description you find out if something you are able to find out. Slowly you will get an idea. Okay. See description, I can use the description, then you can see if anything is the medium description, long description. And we are always using external extended one, where this extended is there. We are using extended text whenever we have to copy a field from some external system. That time we are using extended. See how you have to decide this, what data type you have to use. You always have to decide based on the length. So you should have an idea, like in this particular field what would be the value length. So then you can decide, okay, this would be better, which I can use. So always whenever you use check the length, maximum length. So till here might be you got an idea how I have defined.
yes, yes.
Now next step is that in a particular BO you have to create an item. Like in our account we have sales order tab, we have tickets tab, we have teams tab, we have another tabs also. That are not tabs. How these tabs are getting generated? These tabs are getting generated because we have an item inside it. I'll show you the customer BO. Now this is the customer BO. So whatever you will write here on the top, whatever you will write in this particular, in this bracket, everything inside this bracket you will see that comes under the root node. See, this is a root node. If I'll open, you see there are some actions. You will see on the screen also these actions, and inside it you can see all these associations, address, and some and others are there. Common, there are multiple associations. You can see this how they are interconnected. These all are associations. So this is nothing but your this node. So in the root, if I'll see internal ID, so this internal ID is on the root. Just remember, if you are trying to create any alternative thing, it will always be on the root, because account ID, when you open a customer, means account ID. One account ID has multiple things. One account ID can have multiple tickets. One account ID can have multiple contracts. One account ID can have multiple all that things. So account ID will always be on the root. Like if I create a sales order, so one sales order can have multiple deliveries, can have multiple invoices. So in that scenario, how you will do? You will create the sales order ID on the top, on the root node, and the delivery or the invoice, for that we will create a item nodes. Item nodes means whenever we have 1 to n things.
Okay.
If you have
Got it.
only one value, that will always be in the root node. This will represent means only one value. And if you have multiple values, means one contract can have multiple items, multiple item ID, multiple product. You have seen that in the product screen, you have multiple products. So everything, whatever you see in the table structure, no, in the table product, multiple products you can do. So that means it's an item. Okay. In if you open a QC screen, if you open a account QC screen, you will see account ID, account name, all that things you have to type only once. There is no some option where you are adding the multiple account names or multiple account IDs. Correct? So this means
Uh-huh.
everything is on the root. Once you click on
Yes.
save and then you are opening it, you will see there are multiple involved parties. Means one account belongs to the multiple involved parties. So that involved
Yes.
party is basically a node 1 to n. Correct? Whenever this kind of a behavior, we have 0 to n. We are defining, okay, how many values you can store. It's not like 1 to 1. If you write it 1 to 1 means one, only one account can have one item only. If it is 1 to n means can have multiple. So based on your requirement, you have to write it. And the way of writing this is same. If you have defined a field, this one, you can't copy paste it again. One element name can be used only once, but the same element you can define inside the node. In the node it will represent different, but inside it you only once. If you have delete it, you can't use it again. System will give you error. That's okay. If they are allowing you to do it, use it again, it's fine. Now next step is that association to product to material. What is association? Association means, I told you, account and ticket both are different BOs. Both are different. In your system, you are using account also, or you are using employee also. So both has different. If I can take a business partner, I'll take employee responsible. So same way, it's the same way like your account and territory. This is a customer and we have a territory also. Identification, I'll take it because employee has not directly, it's not picking the value directly. Whenever you have to fetch the employee ID, you have to go from the identification BO. So now identification BO is one BO. You can see if I click here, it is showing me the association, sub element type association. Public right
What do you,
access, yes.
can you repeat again? Sub element association.
I am telling you, wait. You just see the behavior. I'm just clicking on it and it's saying me this is an association. This is an
Yes.
association. Public right access. I hover it. Public right access, yes. Means you can use it into your project. This release status is yes. Public right access is yes. Means you can use it into your solution. If it is no, if it is restricted, you can't use it. Now this association means now this is my customer. You can see all whatever values I can see here. This is all defined at the root level. From here I'm going to this. These are all, you can see these are associations. Means I am going from one BO to another BO, that call it as a association. If you want to use another BO into your BO, we will always use the keyword association. Means from your BO you want to fetch the data of another BO. In that case we are using the associations.
Okay.
Okay. So like address information or relationship or object identifier mapping, this is basically object identifier mapping is a BO where if any external system is connected with that, so here you will get all the details like external ID and everything, you will get it here. If you have if your system is connected with another system and your employees are getting replicated from another ERP system and you are getting the external ID also, so you will see in the object identifier mapping, so there here you will see the external ID. Now if I need to find out sales arrangement, I'm not sure, this is a demo system, so we will get this value or not. I don't think they have anything. Sales territory account, yeah, nothing is there here. So this, by using this, what will happen if I use material? Now I have to use, I in my project scenario, in my BO I want to use the material ID. Okay, I want to use the
Uh-huh.
material ID. Material is the product ID. This is a material BO and this is the internal ID, and I want to use into my project. I want to use into my logic. If I use the association, in that case, what will happen? I am accessing, I am calling this BO. I'm calling this complete BO. So in that case, there is no need to define all that field again into my BO. Just simply write association to material. So automatically, if I need any of field which available in this material, I can use directly into my logic. There is no need to define it into my BO. Like if I need the internal ID, there is no need to define it element a product ID equals to internal ID element, that all product ID product this all. So there is no need. Directly I will able to call it. Okay, that's why we are writing this association. If you want to use this material BO fields, not one field. If it is a one field, you can directly write. But if you want multiple things of this material BO, like you want inside material, you want to use the attachment. There is a material, in that material there is attachment, and you want to use that attachment. So it's better you can use the association, so that you can call that field, you can call that value. In logic you will understand. So first you'll tell me, you understand the concept of association or not?
Yes, yes, I understand. So instead of
Okay.
defining in namespace, that you can use, right? That's what you mean.
If you want to access this particular BO, any fields you want to access, is there is no need to define, there is no need to define that element again into your BO. It is basically saving your space. You can just
Ah,
simply write one line, and it you can access all the fields. I will show you in the logic how it will be. This dependent object not now, because it will be too loaded. I will explain it later on. Slowly we'll go. So here you can see association I'm using. And if you have to create any custom button on your screen, you have to call it as a action, and you write the action name. Okay, button will always be created with the action. So I am just done all that things. Dependent object we have not done so far, and you can see I'm getting the, still I'm getting the errors. This material, why I'm getting the errors for the material? I click on the material, I'll click here, and you can see here this is the namespace which I have not used. So that's why I'm getting the error. You got my point? Now I have used product data maintenance one for material, and I have used business partner for account. I have used identity management. You will check that. You will see all this. Employee BO, customer, material. You can see all that gone. So whenever you have to call any standard BO, you have to write the import statement here. Otherwise, you will not able to activate it.
okay.
So I'm going to activate it. You have to do it from here. See, my problem is that whenever I'm doing, sometimes it got hang, and I need to restart it again. Any doubt till here? So if it's better if you can get the access, or you can just take this all, you can try in your system also. You can check with them, if they are providing you the access is fine. Otherwise, I will share this BO and the script one with you, so that you can try at your home, or you can understand.
Okay.
Otherwise it will be difficult for you too. So you see it's activated. Now you have learned how to define the alternative key, how to define the items, how to give the labels of the name, how to define the association, and how you have to define the action. And the next step which I'm going to tell you is the message, how you have to write a message. So if you have to give the message on the root screen, means on the main root level, then you have to write it, you have to define it in the root level. And if you want to show the message at the item level means in particular tab, so there you have to define it into the, like if you are adding a product ID and there some value is not correct, so if you want to give the error message there, so you have to write it into this particular node.
Okay, got it.
So now whenever you are writing a message, always use raises, like the same message. Okay, if there are 4 or 5 messages in your BO, you write a comma and just add all the names here. Comma name, like this. Okay, so just use the comma and you can add the multiple messages. So this is the way how you can write the messages. You want me to continue, or now we have to create the scripts. Now BO is ready. We have to write the logic. So this is a mass enable. So just keep in mind, mass enable feature is that if you are trying to implement that script for multiple elements. You have seen the items screen. You
Haha.
you are aware of ticket. If you are opening
No.
a ticket, there is an item tab, or if you have an account, you have
Yes,
involve
yes.
party tab. In the involve party, there is a table kind of a screen where you can select. In the opportunity also, you have opportunity. In the opportunity, they have multiple items. Correct? Now, if you
Yes.
select that all the items, and there are 4 items are there opportunity, and you want to implement your logic, like I have created a button, and I'll select all the 4 at one shot, and when I click on the button, thus my same logic will get triggered for all 4 in one shot.
Okay.
Okay, so this means if you want to trigger your one action 4 times in one shot, then we are using the mass enable feature. And if you
Okay.
want, like one time only, like if like opportunity, if I'm opening one opportunity, that time it should open, it should my logic will trigger only once. So that is something which you have to understand about your project, how you have to do, is it mass enable or not mass enable. So it totally depends upon your requirement perspective. For here, it's earlier it was not automatically selected, but now it's automatically selected, so you have to uncheck it. So
Okay.
let's suppose I'm using after modify event, before save event. So what is all this of event? After modify event is always getting triggered whenever you are editing. So always try to write minimum logic, minimum to minimum logic on this screen, on this script, because whenever you do any change, like you edit, you in your account screen there are multiple fields, 50 fields are there. So whenever you are editing the 50 fields, there are some workflows also, there are some rules also. So if anything is happening, this event will get trigger. So this can hit your performance. So always try to write the logic on this script very minimal. Or if there is a requirement, if there is a possibility we have only this script to write it, just write some condition so that it will trigger only for particular that condition, not for all the conditions. Like if my account id is filled, or if my pricing field is filled, then only this script has to be triggered, otherwise not. Like this also you have to stop it. So always write a script. While writing a script, you always have to put conditions so that your logic will not trigger always where it is not required. So you can see now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this one I have just removed this one, and you can see I have checked the scripts. After modify, I told you before save event, whenever you click on the save button, anything whatever is happening means before saving, ticket is getting saved before save. Before save means in the buffer. You have put all the entries and you click on the save button, and in between that buffer, whatever is happening, that is the before save event. If you have to put any conditions, okay. So as a developer, we are writing all the logic into the before save event, all the logic, because this logic will get trigger only when you are clicking on the save button, otherwise not always. So you can put some conditions on it, okay. Always we have to write some conditions when you have to trigger your particular logic or not. On delete, when we have to delete something, some particular script, like we want, okay, this is the logic, this is my something is there which we have to delete. So we have a script for event on delete. And then there is an event after modify. So this before save, and that on delete after loading. So after loading event is basically a script where whenever we are doing something, a screen is loading, you have seen that behavior when screen is loading, that time
Some
we are
processing.
writing. So that time we are writing a logic here we can't define any message. SAP has restricted to display any message on this script. We are not writing any message on this script. SAP has restricted that. You will get a message, you will able to activate it, but you will get the message also. So we are not writing any messages on the script. And second thing is that you will not be able to save any field, any value, like into any element. Like if my contract id is my element, and if I want to save any value into this field, so you will not be able to use it in this, because in after loading everything would be read only. If you want to read something, you want to query something, you can use this event. But if you want to copy some value into this field, you will not able to use it, because after modify is always for read only.
Right now, I told you that we got so we getting some error. Null exception if you remember yesterday. That's actually after loading event only.
Okay, so what was that?
It's showing null access possible. Null no sorry no access possible via a null data reference.
So that's why that null value I'm getting clear. So they have not used the null value. You can show me that your error. If you want to show me, you can show that what is exactly. So might be, have you run the performance check? System will
Yes.
allow, system will. So have you applied all the suggestions there? We need to
Null
actually
reference.
see that. And then I can share. You can share it from later on. We will try. After this one,
Okay.
we will try. So after this after loading event, we have a validation on save. So on save is kind of a validation only. Same way you are using the KUT, there you are in your KUT you are writing the validations, like if any particular rule you have applied, if that condition is not successful, just display some messages on the screen. So on save is the event for validations. No logic, no definition, only for validation, only for display the screen. If this value is not successful, just display the error message, just display the warning message and all that. So validation is for that. And rest, if you have defined any action into your BO, that action will come here. So this will be auto selected, and you have to just remove the mass enable. And you can see you have created the items node. So that's why you will able to see here also. If you want to use any item also, I want to use, let's suppose I want to use item event and I need to write a logic of before save. So you can tick that and it will come. So I have selected all. See, whatever I have selected, it is in the red color. So you have to activate all. I'm just activating for all. I'm just clicking right click and click on activate on the BO. I'm just doing on the BO. If I'll do it on the BO, it will activate all the scripts. So I'm activating it. So it's activated and you can see it the red mark. So red mark is nothing but it is check-in. So always whenever you are doing something, you have to check out. While your log off thing, you have to check out your solution. It's like a opposite thing. Check out means you are going out and check-in means you are coming inside in a hotel kind of a thing, check in or check out. But here it is opposite. So check out means you are doing some logic, you are into the system and you are doing something. If you do the check in, that means you are going out of the system. So it is opposite actually, check in check out. So now all the scripts are ready. So if you have to write a logic, you have to do it here. So I have already written it on my Word. I'll paste it. First I'll paste it and then I'll tell you what exactly it is.